it's Liz Yuille from Old Staples Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. Today is Simple Stamping Saturday. So, as ever, I have 3 projects using the same basic supplies, but stepped up. And they use the same basic layout as well. So, I am using the Artfully Aware stamp set. This is a $1 Million Achiever stamp set, which was the inspiration behind it was Janet Wakelin, who is in the US. I had the honour of meeting her when I was in Orlando in November, and did have a not a long conversation, but a reasonable length conversation with her. And I was telling her how much I love this stamp set because I think it's just amazing. I don't think it's just for awareness. I think you can use some of the images in a more positive, as in, I don't mean more positive because this is a very, very positive stamp set, but this image, which is actually the one we're going to use today, I think that's just a together stamp. You know, you could use that for teamwork, you could use it for all sorts of things. These 2 images are maybe a little more in the supportive, because you've got a need vein, but I'm not convinced that one couldn't be almost a love image. But the sentiments are amazing. So together we make a difference. Lean on me. I'm here for you until there's a cure. ... You've got my support. The struggle is real, and thanks for your. So you can obviously mix and match. So you can thanks for your support. Until there's a cure. You've got my support, or I'm here for you. There's the ribbon, the awareness ribbon, which goes with the dies that were part of the set that Patty Bennett, another $1 Million Achiever stamp set, had with her ribbon of courage. So you can see it's the same awareness ribbon, just a different feel, but the die works for both stamp sets. So you can get the dies separately, and you can add them to your order for the Artfully Aware stamp. It's red rubber, so it's cling in New World, and these are the designs that I've come up with. So this is my simple stamping. As ever, it uses our note cards and envelopes, and I've added some designer series paper. I've gone for the wood textures because I'm thinking slightly masculine, and I'm also using very vanilla rather than whisper white, and all I've used is the image of the people together, and together we make a difference. As I say, I don't think that is necessarily only for an awareness piece. I think it can be team as well. So together we make a difference, you know, as a sort of team building thing. I've covered the flap of the envelope with the designer series paper, and we'll go through that. And then this is just a strip. It's a 1/2 inch strip. You could do a centimetre and a half if you're in metric. So that's my simple stamping. This is my Avid Crafter version. So I'm going into thick whisper white, standard A6 card base, and then I've added the ribbon, and I've used my Wink of Stella just to do some shading. I've kept one piece of the ribbon plain, but Wink of Stella everywhere else, and I've also used Wink of Stella on the image itself. Again, a strip of designer series paper, and I've actually used designer series paper as the mat behind this, so it's an exact match. And then for the more avid crafter, I've introduced 2 additional ink colours. The ink that I've used for all of them as the main colour is soft suede, so it's that little bit back from early espresso and a lot softer than black. But I've added in for this, I just alternated the colours between Cajun Craze and Pumpkin Pie, and again I've used Wink of Stella just to pick up the ink from the ink pad. Do just be aware though that when you use Wink of Stella into your ink pad, just use a tiny corner and then wipe it off, because otherwise when you go back in to press your ink pad to get more ink in the lid, you could, if you've used a lot of Wink of Stella, end up with Wink of Stella all over your ink pad, which may not be what you're looking for. Again, I have used the Designer Series paper. I should have chosen a more obvious pattern, but hey. But this is Designer Series paper, both for the strip and for the top of the card, or of the ribbon rather. And then I've die cut the Designer Series paper and some soft suede, possibly from the middle of the mat, just to give it a bit more oomph. And I popped that up, and as I say, then just Wink of Stella here, and some of our faceted gems. These are in the annual catalogue, as is the Designer Series paper. It's one of the 6x6 stacks. So, enough blather from me. Let's make the simple stamping version. So I've got my very vanilla note card. Don't need those two ink pads now. So soft suede, and I'm going to start by stamping the sentiment down in the bottom right hand corner, and I do find it easier to do this before you fold the note card, so you're not trying to stamp on something that's wafting. So yeah, that's just me, as they say. Then allowing some space for our Designer Series paper strip, and it's only 1/2 inch. Now you can use your grid paper if you want. So if I pop my card here, I'm thinking that actually I'll go down half a little. So I'm thinking the top of my sentiment goes here. I want 1/2 inch, which is 2 squares because I'm on the imperial side. So long as I go into sort of 3 squares up, so here, I will be well out of the way, but close enough that it's connected. Because if you've been following me for any time at all, you'll realise I don't like things that are not quite together or not quite apart. So there needs to be a kind of link between them. I've cut my 1/2 inch of Designer Series paper, and all I'm going to do with that is run some snail along most of the length. This is a 6-inch length, and then again just line your card up so that you can see that it's square, and then just pop down so that you are square to the card, and then turn over, grab your snips and just run this blade so that it's against the edge of the card, and then cut, and it will magically line up. I'll show you that again. So we butt this straight against the blade, not at an angle, but actually straight against the blade, and then just cut, and it will be perfectly lined up. It's like magic. So that's our card. So let's fold that, grab our bone folder and give that a good crease. And then I covered the envelope flap with Designer Series paper, and here's the one I used before. So all you do to do that is, let's actually open that up. It's slightly easier at this point to have the flap open, I find. And you want to get as close to the crease line as you can with your adhesive. I'm hoping you can see that reflecting. Yes, you should be able to. And then just follow around. Just make sure that you get into that kind of corner piece, and then just follow around. It's this top edge that's the most important to get close to the edge, only because it's the one that's going to get the roughest treatment when it's going through letterboxes and that sort of thing. Now I fold it flat, and which side do I want? I think I want that side up. So this crease goes along the edge of your Designer Series paper, and you want this corner to be as close to the corner as possible. So you can see that you can't, from this side, you can't see the envelope at all. So then just give it a good press, open up, and then again with your snips just follow round the shape. And if you press towards the edge of the envelope, you will find that your snips are less likely to go over the edge. It's just one of those weird things. Don't ask me why, it's probably something to do with physics, but who knows? Science was never my thing. My niece is studying biology, biological sciences, I think is the technical correct name for the degree she's doing at UCL. And my mother's father, my maternal grandfather, was a chemistry professor. So somewhere along the line, I just didn't get any of the science gene. Anyway, so there we go. So that is our card for today, and then our two stepped up versions. So we've got our Avid and our Casual Crafter. I hope you found that interesting. Just a few different ways to use the same supplies and just step things up a little if you've got a little more technique and a bit more equipment. Thank you very much indeed for watching. If you enjoyed that, please give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave those below this video. There's a link in the video, in the description below the video, to my blog post that goes with this, which will list the details of the products I've used and give you some close-ups of the finished projects. When you shop with me, please remember to use the host code. Then you get to share in the host rewards, and that's basically if your order is, you know, £20 upwards to up to but not over £150. At £150 you start earning your own stamping rewards, and you get to choose what you get with those. If you use the host code, I get the pleasure of choosing what you get, and everyone gets exactly the same thing, so anyone who shops with me in a given month will get the same gift from me, and that goes along with your thank you card and little handmade gift that everybody who shops with me gets, no matter how large or small your order. Do remember during celebration, £45 multiple orders. That's kind of a key. For every £45 you spend or multiple thereof in any one order, you get to choose free celebration items. And for every £30 or multiple thereof in any one order you place using my host code, you also get sunflower rewards. Lots of information about that over on my blog, so do go and have a look at that. And as I say, there's a link to that below. Thank you very much indeed, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye!